in another verse says, La yajrimannakum shana'anu qawmin. The enmity of a people towards you must not permit you to treat them with injustice. And two verses of the same type are found in the Quran. In one, religious enmity is not mentioned, it is the general principle. But in the second one, the Holy Quran further elaborates the point by declaring that even if a people have been your religious enemies and have treated you wrongfully and they've been unjust to you, the thought or the memory of those injustices committed against you by religious people may not permit you or may not incline you to treat them with injustice when you come to power. The Holy Quran again repeats, "Edilu huwa aqrabu lit-taqwa." You must stick to justice. This is closest to taqwa, and without taqwa there is no Islam. So this is in nutshell the answer to your question. Other aspects will all be covered by the same answer. In fact, all the teachings of the Quran are completely governed by this overruling principle. This is the religious principle in Islam, in the Quran, which covers not only Islam but also other religions. Right from the time of Adam, the Holy Quran keeps a history record which all of it revolves around the principle that each prophet of Allah advocated justice. And all opponents, religious opponents particularly, advocated injustice in the name of religion. And that is exactly what the mullahs are doing to Islam today, unfortunately. So without coming to this fundamental principle which is prerequisite for all peace, it's impossible to avoid the dangers to which the Muslims in general are being drawn very powerfully, as you suggested. There is no panacea for all these ills except this, that they must return to the principle of absolute justice. Thank you. Any other question, please? Yes, please, most welcome. Please occupy the seat here. Wa alaikum salam, rahmatullah. Would you kindly introduce yourself briefly?
Yeah. My name is Sahid Morafa.
Right.
My basic background is sociology. I am a Nigerian.
Right.
I live between Nigeria and England. Once upon a time I was permanently resident in England, but now I've shifted base. I got two questions actually. One is what I may call political. The other is purely religious. I may start, first of all, with what I consider the political one.
Right.
And that is referring to the present slogan now being sung across the Western world, the New World Order.
Right.
What is this New World Order? Where is Islam in the New World Order?
Right.
That
is the religious question.
Yes.
The second part.
No.
Islam, where in Islam is?
Yes, I'll come back to
Let's
summarize.
first stick to the first part, which is a political question, as you said.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of the New World Order? Exactly?
Yeah.
Right?
But if I may just,
Okay.
essentially, I'll deliver the question, I'll wrap up with my question.
Right.
Now, is Islam not the target of the New World Order? Why I say that is that the New World Order, as I can say it, is now a sort of verbal aggression, primarily against Islam. And if I may take one or two examples, we have all witnessed for some years now turbulence in Northern Ireland, between Catholics and non-Catholics. But nobody has ever referred to it as a religious war. Nobody has ever referred to either Catholic or Protestant guerrillas or, what might not, against none other guerrilla. But whereas we find that the New World Order targets now the Muslim world in trying to divide the Muslim world so that the Muslim world could be conquered. Iraq's situation is there. Now we can all see that the Muslim world, well, what we normally call the Muslim world, is not disintegrating. We are having factions now, pro and con Western world. We look at Pakistan, for example. I don't know how many of us saw the program on, I think this week, about the Sunnis and the Shiite Muslims in Pakistan, whereby it's being introduced that what is going on in Pakistan is nothing but a religious war. Alhamdulillah, about 2 days ago, it was on the same television when the two factions, the leaders, met and proclaimed that this is not a religious war. Rather, terrorists are being infiltrated, sort of sponsored to really cause this commotion. I'm sorry, I have to, quickly wrap up this question. The same thing, if some of us who watch the programs about Indians and Pakistanis in this country, it was being projected as if one group is superior to the other because of religious difference. This is what was played, I'm sorry I have to, cite this example.
Oh, you don't have to be sorry at all.
Okay.
Please.
Because it's been referred to
Enjoy
about
yourself.
the Muslim Pakistanis, children, and the Indian Pakistanis, Indian children and that kind of thing. All right. This, again, I see as an incitement of one group or the other, divide and rule them. Okay? Now, without prolonging this too much, I am now sensing that the New World Order, that is after the demise of the Cold War, that is the demise of the communism, Islam happens or looks like the target now as the order that is creating this problem for the Western world.
Thank you.
Okay, if this is the case, or if you share my view, what is Islam doing in this region?
Is the second question you are now raising,
now I'm bringing
the one which you said would be religious?
Right. Now I just want to answer
let's
the
wait,
question now.
wait until I finish the first one,
Yeah.
then we'll come to the second one.
Okay.
Now first of all, you started by posing the question to me as to what was meant by the New World Order when they speak of it,
Yeah.
everywhere nowadays. So I would like to ask you if you ever heard of an English expression, old wine in new bottles. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
So that is my answer. There is nothing new about it. It is the old wine in new bottles. The same historical role of the powerful nations towards each other as well as towards the non-powerful nations continues to play its role as unhesitatingly as it ever did. There is no change whatsoever. And the factors which determine these policies are national interests. So in a nutshell, this is the answer which is applicable to all international relationships. And in that, nothing has changed. Right? Now, coming to the implications which you mentioned later on of the New World Order vis-a-vis Islam.
Islam, yeah.
Now, I don't think it is Islam itself, it is the political role of the Muslim world, historical political role of the Muslim world, which is invoked by the changed circumstances, particularly in the light of what happened in Iraq and vis-a-vis Kuwait, etc. And Libyan so-called militantism, and the so-called Iranian militantism, and the so-called Islamic atomic bomb. Now, all these things are the parts of the same jigsaw puzzle.